It has been said time and again that the heart is not so smart. It has been mentioned, it has even been sung. There's this nice musician who comes from the United States that there's a song that goes by the word that the heart is not so smart. It goes where it shouldn't go. Many a times we tend to assume that our partners are actually in love with us. Many a times we're not even seeing the red flags. Sometimes we even try to convince ourselves that truly these individuals are in love with us. These individuals are not just gatekeeping, these individuals are truly committed to us. But today I want to reveal to you something that will really shock you. Stay with me because in this next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be enlightening you on how you can identify that your partner truly is not in love with you. And number 7 will shock you. So, without taking much of your time, my name is Kunguru87, and if it's your first time to join this particular channel, we'll appreciate you if you just subscribe and like and actually share. Why am I saying you share? It's because we want the people in your niche to kind of get this kind of information. You share it outside there so that the YouTube algorithm can also push this particular content to go to people who most likely are on your niche or usually interact with them on YouTube. So without taking much of your time, we go to point number 1. Point number 1 is that these individuals are emotionally unavailable to you. I'll just emphasize on it. You'll find yourself that many a times your partner is not emotionally available to you. For example, maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you got quarreled with your boss. Maybe you missed a particular business trip, or maybe you missed your flight, or maybe you never managed to close a particular client, or even you've lost your loved one. The question is your partner emotionally available for you? That should be the first thing you think about it. That is point number. Point number 2 is that they never apologize or take responsibility. I've had many couples who say that it's not my fault, so I don't need to actually apologize. Some have even gone to an extent of saying, I'm not the man in the relationship, I'm not the lady in the relationship, so I don't think I'm in a position to apologize. Many a times we forget that it doesn't mean you're right, doesn't mean you're wrong. Provided you are in a relationship, you should focus on the future. If your partner does not even apologize or even owns up to his or her mistakes, then definitely that one will tell you this individual is actually not into this particular lifetime or this particular partnership or this particular mutual arrangement you have with him. Point number 3 is that you always initiate a conversation. So recently, I was with a couple of friends of mine and they were saying that who should initiate a conversation? I tend to think ego is a very bad aspect in life. Maybe you guys are not still living together. Maybe you guys are living from different parts of the world. Stop this fallacy or a thought that it's the man's responsibility to initiate a conversation. It's the lady's responsibility to initiate a conversation. It's the lady who's supposed to ask the man out for dinner or for lunch. In fact, people have gone to an extent to say that whoever actually proposes for you guys to go on the date should pay the meal. Anyway, that's another story for another day. But if you find yourself that you're always initiating a conversation with the partner, then directly this is a sign that your partner does not love you. You cannot, in a relationship, it's a two-way traffic. There's some time maybe they've forgotten they're supposed to reach out, they're supposed to drop a text message, they're supposed to check how you're going to sleep, if you manage to close that particular business deal that you went to, etc., etc. So if you find yourself you're the one who's always reaching out. Point number 4 is that they dismiss or minimize your feelings. Now, this is the most sensitive part, and this one is the female gender. If your man actually minimizes your feelings or does not recognize your feelings or your thoughts and ideas, my dear friend, run away from that particular man, and the vice versa. If this lady only feels that she is the one whose feelings are supposed to be considered or be accommodated in a particular decision-making process, then definitely you're wasting each other's time. If your lady does not accommodate your feelings, if your man does not accommodate your feelings, then definitely you guys are just wasting each other's time. It is time to pack up your things and move on. Point number 5 is that they make you feel like you're a burden to them. You find those people who say, It's me even pay for the school fees. It's me usually pays for the house. It's me usually pays for A, B, C, D, etc., etc. In a relationship, that's a big fallacy. Why will you think as if the other person is disabled? Why will you think as if the other person is like they cannot make it to part of their daily obligations, maybe their own tuition fee, or maybe their own transport to a particular place, or maybe to do their hair? Why do you have to keep on like, it's me who is paying for his car? It's me who's actually doing ABCD. You don't have to each and every time try to minimize this individual to seem as if they're really, truly, or dependent on you. Personally, I do say if you're assisting someone, you should assist them silently without even advertising to the whole world that you're actually coming through for them. Because it's not like a man's job to pay the house, neither is it a lady's job to pay the house. Most of these things you don't even need to know. Point number 6 is that they avoid future plans and commitment talk. Now, I know this is a sensitive area. I know this is a very, very sensitive area. So if you disagree with any of my points, kindly just put it in the comment section. And if you find even any of them is resonating with you, just put it in the comment section and let's engage. There are those people who avoid future communication. For example, you guys are planning to go for a trip. You guys are planning how many kids you'll have. You guys are planning what kind of houses you'll build. You guys are planning what kind of business venture you'll dive into. You guys are planning on buying furniture into your house or electronics. If you find your partner is avoiding or giving vague answers towards these kinds of thoughts and ideas from you, I'm sorry to tell you, just pack and leave. Because how come when you're trying to plan our future, you're not, it's like, it's my own future. No, it should be a two-way traffic. How many kids are we going to have? Where are we going to live? Where are we going to take them to school? What kind of furniture are we buying? What kind of house are we doing? What kind of business are we planning to open? What kind of church for those who are Christians are we going to go? There are very many things that's supposed to be done with two people. Remember, it takes two to tango. It's not an individual. It's not a one-man show. Point number 7 is that their actions don't match their words. This one goes even to those people who end up going physical with their husbands or with their wives. If your actions cannot actually dictate or cannot be dictated by the words that are coming out of your mouth, then definitely you cannot be someone who's promising and you're not being able to deliver to your promise. You cannot be saying we'll do and you're not doing. Practice starts from us. We say you have to start from yourself. You cannot be practicing or preaching wine and you're drinking water, or the vice versa. You're drinking water and preaching wine. These things have to align themselves. For example, you cannot be telling your partner that I've stopped taking alcohol, yet on the ground, on the physically part of it, you're taking alcohol. I've stopped working with this particular friend of mine. I've stopped smoking. I've stopped doing ABCD. I've dropped this kind of friends. Yet you don't practice it. You're going to an extent of even telling a partner, stop working with this kind of people. Stop going to this kind of groups. Yet you are the one, or you're just practicing the same thing. Your actions have to be your words. If you promise maybe, for example, but by this particular time, we shall have already funded our joint account, we'll go and open this particular business, we'll buy this kind of particular property, we'll invest in this particular furniture of electronics, you should even start by the first person to be funding that particular account, not just by words of mouth. Because it has been said time and again, if you can do the talk, now walk the talk. Point number 8 is that you compare your current partner with your previous partner. Yes, there might be a slip of the tongue once or twice, but again, if I were in a position, be very careful. If each and every time your current partner keeps on telling you, if it could be so and so, right now I could have done ABCD. If it could be so and so, my dear friend, my dear man, my dear lady, I don't believe you're in the right place. Because I get offended when someone actually compares me with another person. Even where I'm working, even the business that I'm running, you cannot compare me. Like, for example, you've had a lot of people come and say, by the way, you guys, you're selling your items expensive. And the question I ask them, expensive compared to what exactly? What kind of product are you measuring with my product so that you can say my product is expensive? Then I'll be able, if you cannot defend your accusation or why you're trying to compare me with this other person or individual, then definitely you are not my client. Stop comparing your current partners with your previous partners, irrespective of what happened. It is very, very hurtful to that particular partner. You cannot keep on telling your man that my previous man was taking me to this kind of places, so I also need it. No, you cannot be telling your lady that my previous lady used to be doing for this to me, used to be cooking for me like this, used to be ironing my clothes, used to be spreading. No. Every single day has got its own ways. Every single person has got their own character traits that you need to accommodate them. At the end of the day, if any of your current partner is comparing you with your previous partner or their mothers or their dads, you're not their mother, you're not their father. Kindly drop that person, drop that nigger, drop that lady, and move on. Last but not least, again, you feel more anxious than secure. There are people in a kind of relationship, and you'll find them, they feel a little bit like they're panicking each and every time. It's like you guys are waiting for each other to make a certain mistake so that you can blame them. That's not a relationship. You guys are not in a competition. You guys are not friends. You guys are trying to build a relationship. There's no way an individual can be like, I'm waiting for you to make a particular mistake is when I come and castigate you or lament to you or I start pointing fingers at you. You're not benchmarking with your partners. You're not looking for faults. You're not trying to look out for problems. Trust me, if you're out there and you're looking for a mistake or you're looking for a mistake for your partners to do them, then definitely you better walk out. Stop wasting your time because you'll find them. We are all coming from different walks and generations. You cannot be sitting there and, hey, but then you said, hey, but then you did, but then no. You're living in anxiety. You're not even settled in this particular relationship. You're like, what if I do this? What will she say? What will he say? What if I sleep like this? What if I wear this kind of clothes? What will she say? No. Provided you're dressed nicely, provided you've cooked your food nicely, provided you've combed your hair very nicely, provided you're just speaking fluently and in a language each individual can communicate or can resonate with you, I believe you should be very confident of your words, of your action. And if you're my partner, I can look for another time and tell you, maybe it was a slip of the tongue, but regardless, we move on. You brush it under the carpet. It's not a matter of matchmaking. You're not in a competition. So if you're feeling anxious and you're not feeling settled or secured in that particular relationship, my brother, my sister, walk away. Point number 10 is that you stopped being yourself. There's some things you just dropped because you wanted your relationship to work. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, they've said that character is like pregnancy. You cannot hide it for too long. You cannot say that I stopped eating like this so that I impress my husband. I stopped taking alcohol to impress this current wife of mine, the one I'm having. You can never pretend for too long. If you find yourself that you've stopped being the real you, there's a certain way you eat, there's a certain way you dress, there's a certain way you drink, there's a certain way you pray, there's a certain character that you usually have. Not unless it's something that is illegal, I don't think and I don't believe you should drop it. If you find yourself dropping something because you're trying to impress this other individual, this is not the real you, then you're lying to each other. From the word go, you should tell your partner, by the way, babes, by the way, honey, by the way, sweetheart, this is how I do, this is how I roll, these are the kind of friends I have, this is the kind of food I like, so that you put it in a clarification point, in clarity, so that you don't end up denying yourself the happiness that you're used to. What if I come and find out later? Maybe you have a kid outside there. You should tell me. I've seen very many relationships and marriages break down because certain individual never actually reveal to their partner that they have got a kid outside or before this current relationship. Many a times it hasn't worked well. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, call to action. If you find any of these 10 points, at least there's even one of them that resonates with you, or you can see it right in front of your eyes. Again, I'm not saying that you leave your man. I'm not saying that you drop your girlfriend or your lady or your wife. Just think about it. Is it worth it? Is that relationship worth it? This person does not take care of your emotions. This person always criticizes you and diminishes you. Always reminding you that, I bought for you your handkerchief, I bought for you your vest, I bought for you your belt, I bought for you your wallet, I fueled your car. It's me who made you like this. It's me who took you from the rags to riches. Every time they're not making you live a full life to the fullest. You find yourself, you're not even operating well. You're operating with anxiety. What if I said something wrong? What if I walk? What if I talk? What if I dress? If you find yourself in this kind of a composition or kind of stature or kind of lifestyle that you cannot even relate to their own relative because your husband will not like it, because your wife will not like it, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, walk away. It's not worth it. Peace of mind is very expensive. Check it out in the next video. Make sure you watch this particular video. And thank you very much for coming here. If you find any of these points resonating with you, just put in the comments section. Thank you very much. Peace.